and welcome to the 4-Star Podcast. We're in good moods this week again, and all four of us are here. I'm your host, Jordan DuPont, joined by Nick DeCola, Ty Mullen, and Andrew Freeman, and we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to start with some Blackhawks news this week, starting on a little bit more of a positive note and kind of working our way to the negatives. We're still happy. They're still playing well. They're playing better than expected. Got a W at Toronto, won 4-1. Lost against Colorado this week, 4-0, which was a big-time reality check of where this team actually is, and lost at home in the home opener against the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So, Nick, as our kind of resident Blackhawks person, I'll let you jump in here. I wasn't able to watch as many games as I'd like this week. So,
yeah, I watched. I was able to catch at least part of every game. I watched the full Toronto game, the Colorado game. I went to bed because like halfway through, it was just like, okay. I literally wrote in my notes, I went to bed, men against boys, and then I just went to bed. And then yesterday during the Vegas game, I was playing poker and drinking heavily. So my recollection of that game may not be as great. But yeah, it's, coming off of the 5-game road trip to start the year, the Hawks had what I think has been, it's probably the best win that this team has had in a really long time against the Maple Leafs. You go into Toronto, hostile environment against a team that's definitely going to contend for a cup. You win 4-1. Alex Vlasic had a monster game that day. On one of the goals, he had a really nice, he stretched pass to Corey Perry, sprung him for a breakaway. Corey Perry scored on that. He was just great, solid defensively. All around great team win. Goaltending continued to be really good between Mrazek and Soderblom. And then the past couple of games, like Jordan, you said, they've been a bit of a reality check. Can
I interject real quick?
Go ahead.
I do want to point out one thing. Again, we said the defense was probably going to be the greatest hindrance of this team. And yet granted, they're 3 games into the season, but we were the first team to keep Austin Matthews from hat tricking. And not only that, I mean, from what I saw, we very much kept him in check for that whole game. It was a very solid defensive effort.
Don't remember exactly. I know he did have a lot of shots on goal. I believe he was.
But only one of them went in.
What?
But only one of them went in.
In the Maple Leafs game?
Yeah, no, I thought he had 1 goal.
No, he didn't. No, I don't think he scored the goal. He definitely did not score the goal. It was.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me pull it up right here. It was Tavares. Yes, Tavares. Tavares scored the goal.
Well, regardless, great defensive effort keeping Austin Matthews from putting a puck in the back of the net. So
yeah. Anyway, where was I going with that? Yeah, like you mentioned. So they've been playing really well to start the season. They were 2-2 going into the Colorado game, and the Colorado game and the Vegas game. Bit of a reality check to where this team is at, and it's just a reminder of how far we actually have to go. The Avs game, it was competitive for about the first 10 minutes. I literally wrote in my note, this Colorado team terrifies me. And then like a little bit after I wrote that, they scored and the floodgates just opened. Shots were like, do I have it here? I think it was like,
it was like 36-18 or something, if I remember. It was just absurd.
Yeah, but it was like 28-9 halfway through the game.
Yeah.
So they were just peppering, Avs, they skate hard, they skate fast. It was very tough. I turned it off halfway through. We were being outshot. I have it here, 28-8 is what it was. The goaltending, Mrazek played well in that first period. It ended 4-0. It could have been 4-0 after 1. Like, he did play really well. He made some really nice saves. But, game against arguably the best team in hockey, end of a long road trip, really young expected. And yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it did.
A little bit. Not totally unexpected. And then, all right. Then they come back for the home opener yesterday against Vegas. Bedard scores in like the first minute on a power play goal. That's another thing we got to touch on. The Hawks have an even goal differential when they have a man advantage. They've given up 2 shorthanded goals and they've scored 2 power play goals. So that's not great. That's got to get better.
Not ideal.
Plus they've given up goals while having a power play.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
I thought you said shorthanded.
Yeah,
like
shorthanded.
That's what's short.
Oh, I thought you meant like when we were shorthanded against. I'm still learning hockey, y'all.
Tag, did you get a chance to watch any of the hockey?
I watched the Avs game a little bit. I was trying to because I had to like pull up on the stream and like you said, I was like, okay, we're gonna go to bed. No, I think I made this observation in our group chat for like the first couple of games. It's just like when I have caught the Hawks games and we know we're going up against a team that's like super competitive, we turn into like if anybody's watched soccer. And Nick and I got into a massive soccer phase when we were younger. It's like when you're really underpowered, you just like hit long balls and just pray that like your guys can get a shot off whenever possible. And sometimes it feels like the Blackhawks do that. They just try to like, all right, get the puck down the ice and just take a shot. If you got any marginal shot, just take it. Who cares? Score or not. And then, okay, let's get back on defense. And so typically that's not really a recipe for success because then when you have a lot of pressure on your defense, and the opposing team is good, they will still find those holes. That's what my untrained eyes see. Obviously, I know that we're rebuilding. I did see Bedard's goal yesterday. That was nice.
Yeah.
And
that's got to feel good for him to actually like I know he scored on the wraparound in Boston, but to actually like score a goal with that wrist shot that everyone loves and raves about. He's been wanting that so bad. And
and Bedard just constantly, he constantly has that like attitude of like, I don't care if I score, man, I want to win. And you love to see it, but also it's like, hey man, enjoy your goals too. Enjoy scoring too. Like you're allowed to have fun. I know, you're all serious, and I love that because hey, winning's important, but it's like, hey man, you can celebrate a goal or two. It's fine.
So I don't really have a whole lot else to add. The game against Vegas, it was competitive. They hung in there for a little bit, but again, this is still a young team. The better team won, and Ty, you mentioned it, like you said, when you have a lot of pressure on the defense, when you're in the position the Blackhawks are, where you have 3 young defensemen, you have a rookie on each defensive pairing. That makes it a lot harder. These guys are going through growing pains. Granted, I like what I've seen out of pretty much all of them so far, but again, that makes it tough. And the schedule does not, just to look ahead, the schedule does not let up for them. We have Boston again on Tuesday. We have Vegas again on Friday. Then we're in Arizona. Jordan will not be going to that game because they play in a college arena and tickets to that game are going to be ridiculous. And then they followed it up against Florida, New Jersey, Tampa, Florida again, Tampa again, and then Nashville. So it's just an absolute gauntlet to start the season. They're playing some of the best teams in hockey. They're like easy teams are Montreal in Montreal and Arizona in Arizona, which aren't like easy. So,
and I know the Panthers made the conference finals last year. Did the Lightning also make the conference finals last year, or am I misremembering?
I do not remember.
You don't have to look it up. Don't worry about it. I just know the Lightning have been a competitive team for, God, it feels like 20 years at this point. They're always in the hunt in the playoffs. Schedule's not getting any easier, but seriously, this team, granted expectations were very low, but this team is playing significantly above expectations right now. I know I've said it for the past couple of weeks. I'm going to say it again. We are getting entertaining hockey. I know we're not winning. We've won a couple of games. We've got 4 points, and it was against 2 good teams. The Penguins are not bad. The Canadiens or the Leafs, are not a bad team. We were competitive against the defending Stanley Cup champions. It's fun hockey to watch. We are getting what we expected, but on another level. So I have 0 complaints. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this year pans out. And I think we're going to look like a very different team come the end of the season compared to where we started this year once those younger guys get that game experience, because that is, unfortunately, trial by fire is the best way to learn. So the more of that they get, the better they're going to look come the end of the season.
Yeah. To answer your question earlier, last year, Tampa finished with 98 points and they lost in the first round of the Maple Leafs.
Got it.
But, still a playoff team, still a team you expect to be in the mix for Stanley Cup contention. So, yeah. Like I said, we have Boston on Tuesday and then Vegas again in Vegas on Friday. God.
Yeah, and that's a tough place to play. That is a very tough place to play. I think I'm going to try and get to a Golden Knights game just to say I went, because they're opening and like all their theatrics and stuff is really, really cool. For those of you that don't watch hockey, definitely just even if you go on YouTube, look at like the entrances for the Golden Knights, they're insane. But
I'll take any excuse to go to the Vegas trip.
need a little bit more money before I can risk gambling it away. But yeah. Anything else we want to touch on with the Hawks? I know that was kind of brief, but I mean,
I mean, the main thing is that Bedard looks as advertised, and
Yep.
that's the most important thing, big picture. All the other stuff is just, icing on the cake, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, well, time to move on to the Bears, who actually just won a football game about an hour and a half ago, 30-12 against the Raiders, and the last 6 came within the last 2 minutes of the game. It was Tyson Bagent versus Brian Hoyer. This was not a, juggernaut matchup of great starting quarterbacks. Honestly, I'm kind of upset that we won this game and won it in the fashion that we did, because this, I don't want to hear all the, oh, look, it was Justin Fields' fault. Luke Getsy does know how to call plays, because I'm still not sold on that. But I'll let you guys kind of dig in, because I didn't get Tig's access for Sunday Ticket until 7 minutes left in the game. So
I also, this game had me feeling similar to we won, cool, but it's similar to feeling the game. I think it was a couple of years ago. It was the last year of Pace and Nagy. I think it was against the Saints, where Demir Bird caught the game-winning touchdown in the last minute from Nick Foles or whatever, and it's like, cool, the Bears won, whatever. This doesn't really change anything in my mind. But Jordan, to your point, where people are like, oh, this is all Fields' fault. Getsy does Getsy knows how to call plays now. I don't buy that for a second. I don't think Getsy has figured anything out, and I still want this coaching staff fired into the freaking sun. But I think it is. I seeing Bagent operate the offense, the offense looks significantly more efficient with him in there. Now I know it's one game against a bad team, but it seems like that offense is a lot more efficient with him in there. And I'm not saying that Bagent should start once Fields is healthy again. Fields should definitely be the starter. Bagent has a ceiling, and it's not a very high ceiling. But, I don't think it reflects well on Fields that Bagent can just come in, this undrafted rookie, and the offense is just so much more efficient, and it feels like they're moving the ball way, way easier.
Yeah. It's less dynamic. You're not going to get those big, exciting down the field chunk plays. But I mean, he was 20 of 28 or something like that. No interceptions.
But only for 150 yards, because
right.
like you
That's
said,
true.
With Getsy's play calling, it was honestly, it's amazing that the Raiders were even this unprepared against the Bears, because we still called all the stupid screens, man. The screens were in full force every other play, and it worked out because our running game looks good finally for once. And again, it's the Raiders couldn't stop the run, even though it's we're still telegraphing that we're running the ball.
Dante Foreman, who's been a healthy scratch for the first 3 weeks of the season. What the hell?
But the blocking was finally, we're getting pushed out the line on runs, stuff like that, where they're getting lanes to run through. And excuse me, it makes it really easy for Bagent, because then he's just throwing screens, and then he just knows I just have to hit DJ Moore over the play. But yeah, I saw a good thing on Twitter, a good quote where it was I don't know who said it, sorry, but it was basically look, Fields is obviously the better quarterback. However, it's kind of a what is it? I'm paraphrasing this.
Indictment.
Saying you indictment, because it's Bagent is doing the things that Fields doesn't do well at all, because Fields doesn't throw with any anticipation. He doesn't see the field, so it makes it look like he's really efficient when it's dude, Justin, if you just got the ball out he's done. And Bagent's credit, he still had a couple plays where he had to get to his fourth or fifth read, and you're wow, man, look how quickly he's processing. Maybe he's processing a bit too fast, because he's check down, but still the fact that he was getting the ball out is just it shows it's man, if Justin could just shore up on just these little weaknesses, and then you add the fact that Justin has that deep ball and the athletic ability, and it's man, I just want to see when Justin gets healthy again, just throw with anticipation, throw you got nothing to lose, because I think Tyson did. Tyson just played whatever, man. I don't know how many times I'm gonna get to start, just sling it. And Yeah,
Ty,
but whatever.
I saw the same tweet you did. It was Jeremy Layton. He said Justin Fields is a better player than Tyson Bagent. Any talk of Tyson being QB1, Fields is healthy is simply dumb. But watching Bagent play on time, get the ball out, and move through his progressions only highlights Fields' weaknesses at this point in his career. So
and that's something where it's like you really like this is, Fields is in year 3, and we can't be having this if you want Fields to be the guy.
Yeah,
and I don't know, man. Again, I'll talk about Caleb Williams later when I talk about Notre Dame beating USC, but it's like Caleb Williams had 2 bad games now in a row against Notre Dame and Utah. So now it's kind of like, is he just an automatic first pick if the Bears get that? I don't know. I mean, you can still think yes, but at the same time,
the short answer is yes.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I mean, look, the offense definitely has more rhythm with Bagent in there because, and the big thing, he only took 1 sack in this game too, which has been really Justin Fields' biggest problem is that he takes way too many sacks and way too many negative plays, which puts you behind schedule. The thing with Bagent is I don't know if he doesn't really have the ability to stretch the field.
No.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, they even put Nathan Peterman out there to throw a jump ball Hail Mary at the end of the first half.
Yeah, Jordan, you may not have heard. Did you hear about that, Jordan? Because I know you didn't watch the game.
I didn't know Peterman came in. I was watching on Red Zone, and I saw that they tried Hail Mary at the end.
They actually brought Peterman in to heave the ball downfield. So that tells you all you need to know about Bagent's arm strength, and that's part of the reason why he probably won't be more than a backup. He's not going to be your QB1.
I think he's going to be a very solid.
He's a great.
He's
backup.
making a great case to be a career backup, and I mean that as a compliment. I mean, he clearly understands how to run an offense. He has quick decision making, like we were saying. He gets through his progressions, but again, the athleticism and the arm strength are not where they need to be a starting NFL quarterback.
And for all the Bears fans out there who would get all hot and bothered whenever a scrappy white quarterback goes out there and looks solid and a Bears win. To put emphasis on the ceiling that Bagent has, he didn't complete a single pass over 15 yards. It's literally all check downs and short passes and quick game. Occasional extend play and find DJ Moore. He had that one play near the end of the first half where he extended the play and found DJ Moore along the sideline. That was a really nice play. But I mean, that's about it's Gardner Minshew all over again. If we remember Gardner Minshew, what he does really well is it's basically just all dink and dunk your way down the field. But when you ask him to do more than that and actually be your long-term starter, it's not going to look pretty over the course
Tom
of the
Brady
season.
effect. Maybe this is our Tom Brady check down machine.
But even that underscores like Tom Brady at least had the arm to throw the ball.
No, he would get pass interference calls on underthrown balls. The amount of times I watched Tom Brady get pass interference calls when it's like, dude, come on, whatever.
Well, I think we're using a little hyperbole there.
Before we get too into a Tom Brady rabbit hole, I do want to point out a few shout outs, deservedly so. First of all, Deontay Foreman looked like just incredible. I mean, 3 total touchdowns, 1 receiving, 2 rushing. I think in the third quarter he had 76 rushing yards, so solid game. I don't know where he wound up because again,
because he got hurt a little bit. He got like a back or like tailbone, bruise probably from falling.
He came back in the game after that.
He did come back in, and he still got some more yards. Jordan did not start him in fantasy, which I think is funny.
I had a long weekend and I overslept until 11 my time and all this is the thing that sucks about living in Arizona. Okay. The first slate of football games starts at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You want to sleep in on a Sunday and you got fantasy teams, you are screwed.
And then the London game starts at like 5 for you. Yeah. I remember living on the West Coast. Can you imagine people playing fantasy in Hawaii? All right, honey, I'm going to get up at 3 in the morning so I can set up my lineup. Then I'm going to go back to bed and then hopefully maybe catch
that's a night before thing. You got to make sure that's all set the night before and just hope that nobody.
But then you get injury reports an hour before the game.
It's like if you are a fan of a team, it's like, you still have to get up at 4 in the morning to watch your team if you're in Hawaii, or just watch the replay afterwards, I guess.
Anyway, before we get down another rabbit hole, another shout out to Jalen Johnson, first career 2 interception game. One of them returned for a touchdown.
You see him do the pay me celebration after
I
after doing the pick six.
I was surprised he took his helmet off to celebrate both times and didn't get a flag. I was like, okay, I guess we're okay now.
Well, guys, and I don't know who, but like one of them was like,
somebody put his helmet back on.
Yeah.
But
I think it's so silly, man. What a soft penalty. You took your helmet off to taunt.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's unsportsmanlike. Yeah.
What? It's fun.
Tyreek celebration. I hate that, man.
Yeah.
They're grown men.
It's fun. It's all about. It's an entertainment television show.
Exactly.
But Ty, if we didn't have these penalties, like how would we know that?
How would
Cassius
the kids
Marsh standing there after making a big play that would have sealed the game?
Yeah,
he's just standing there looking at the Steelers bench.
He's standing there menacingly.
How would the kids know
before Tony Correnti
before
Tony Correnti hip checks him and then throws a flag? God, I'm still so
Me
pissed.
Too. Every time I watch that replay, I get
I'm
angry.
so angry.
Anyway,
another rabbit hole for us.
We're gonna go down rabbit holes, Jordan. We got.
I know.
Got a lot of time.
That's why when I introduce the show, that's why I'm the host. I'm the one that's like, okay, guys, come on. You guys are the kindergartners running around with scissors and glue, and I'm like, okay, children.
Extra recess.
I need a nap. Speaking of which, can we get enough time here?
But no, I mean, again, Brian Hoyer was the quarterback, career backup Brian Hoyer, and then things got so out of hand.
Amen. Yeah,
Aiden O'Connell came in. So I don't want to give too big a props to the defense, but they looked solid. I mean, obviously they held them to 12 points, and again,
it's 2 weeks in a row. It's 2 weeks in a row that our defense has looked solid, and they look solid. I mean, they look solid against add the asterisk against Justin Jefferson-less Vikings, of course, but they're looking better.
And if you go back to the Commanders game too, like they've been
solid.
Yeah.
It definitely helps that the secondary is getting back healthy.
Yeah.
These guys back.
You had a pass rush at the secondary, and hey, go figure, good things might happen. But that's for a different year, I guess. So
we'll get there,
and it's all going to go downhill when they let Jalen Johnson go next year, because that's what this team does.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to think too far ahead. I guess
Tampa 2 is back, and I'm all here.
We don't even know who the coach is. We don't even know who the coach is going to be.
Right.
Oh, we do. Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy.
Don't you put that evil on me. Don't you put that evil on me.
I hope you have a beautiful son.
This is what I am terrified of. Like, okay, the defense is playing better. The offense looks somewhat competent with Bagent running it. Okay, but if this saves Matt Eberflus's job, and everybody comes back next year and they run it back and they draft the quarterback, and
there's no way it saves Eberflus's job. Like
I hope not. I really hope not.
I think we'd have to finish with at least 6 or 7 wins for Eberflus to have his job saved.
No,
and
even then, I don't know. Maybe when Andrew comes back, he'll have something to say about that. But I just don't see that his job gets saved.
I believe it was going into this week. He needed the Bears needed to win going into this week, like 6 of 11. So it'd be 5 of 10 now. So they got to go 500 the rest of the way for Eberflus to not have the worst winning percentage of any coach in Bears history.
Well, we're about to go 11-0 with Bagent, clearly. I've seen enough. Undefeated the rest of the season. Who do you play next week?
I'm looking at it.
I was actually about to pull up the schedule.
Yeah,
I actually don't know.
I feel like I knew it, and now I don't. Oh,
the Chargers.
Chargers,
right?
Easy.
Right?
Yeah.
Easy. Justin Hurt. Oh, man. I'm going to talk so much smack to my father-in-law if we win. Oh, my God. He is never going to hear the end of it. Good Lord.
I don't think we're beating the Chargers.
Easy. Easy. All right. Brandon Staley's just going to go soft. Also, he's going to also do a soft, like 15-yard off coverage. We'll just run screens down their throat.
Okay. So looking ahead, you got Chargers, Saints, Panthers, Lions in Detroit, Vikings in Minnesota, and then the Lions in Chicago, Browns, Cardinals, Falcons, Packers. The Panthers is a winnable. The Panthers is a winnable game. The Cardinals might be a winnable game. That's about it. That's about all I got.
I don't know. The Saints aren't great.
It's funny you mentioned the Cardinals, Nick, real quick, because I have Red Zone up on my TV right in front of me, and when I was looking up while we were talking, the Cardinals have had their like top 5 in terms of like having a lead like for like it was like the stat where like they've had the lead the longest, but they're 1-5. So they get out to like a lead, they hold it, and then they just falter. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
They're
I don't know. Unfortunately, I could see us beating the Packers if we stay healthy, because Jordan Love has not looked good.
No.
I don't know.
Jordan Love didn't look good week 1, and they still killed us.
Yeah,
but we also had half of our secondary missing, and
hey, we beat the Raiders, we beat
Alan
the Packers,
Williams.
Therefore,
yeah. So
PEMDAS.
The Packers beat us. That's what they do. I've accepted it. That is a loss.
Speaking of the Packers, they're down 6-0 against the Broncos right now.
Thank Christ.
Okay,
that
if
would
they
be
lose
great.
to the Broncos,
that would be great.
Nick, I am making you take your statement back.
What? Yeah, Jordan, we lost to the Broncos.
Yeah, but we were close.
10-0 the rest of the year.
Look, I'm not saying I want them to win. I'm trying to be realistic here, and I think the Packers game will at least be
We're not
close.
winning that game in Lambeau. We're not beating the Packers in Lambeau. In early January, it's not happening.
Well, anyway, we've got the Chargers next week, which that's not going to be a good one.
No.
Do we got anything else we want to talk about on this?
Only thing I'll add is we can talk about some draft positioning.
Yeah.
Because we did get some, even though the Bears won today, we did get some key wins from other teams. So the Giants, they beat the Washington Commanders, and they're going to be 2-5 as well. So that helps the Bears in terms of keeping a high pick. The Broncos are currently beating the Packers right now, so fingers crossed they can finish that out. The Patriots held strong against the Buffalo Bills with the upset. So Mac Jones coming in the clutch with a game-winning drive. That was huge. They're 2-5. I think we have the tiebreaker over them. So really we need Broncos to, hold strong here. Keep hanging in there. And then
but we don't want the Packers to lose too much, because I don't want them to get a draft pick themselves. like I want them to finish like.
I'm
8,
confident
9,
that LaFleur
7,
will
10.
be able to muster up a couple wins.
Yeah,
despite Jordan Love, so I'm not too worried about it at this point. But yeah, they need the Broncos to in the short term to get that win. I'm not sure about the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to pull out their game, unfortunately. So looking at the Cardinals are going to get that number 2 pick this week in the draft standings.
That would be really nice for my Survivor League pool if Arizona loses, because I have the Seahawks.
There you go.
That would be very nice.
Be a win-win.
All right.
Win-lose, I guess, technically.
Well, are we okay to transition? Excuse me.
You just waste 9 minutes on rabbit holes. I think we're good.
Transition to the very brief Bulls update.
Andrew? Yeah, Andrew, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's preseason. I already don't want to watch this team, so you got that going on. I mean, there's not too much to say. Kobe White continues to have a pretty strong preseason. It looks like he's looking like he's going to have a strong year after getting the contract. So I guess that's a positive for this group. Andre Drummond had the funniest missed dunk ever, where he had a wide open dunk in transition, nobody around him, and he just nonchalantly just chucks it off the front of the rim. I don't know what he was doing there. It was the most hilarious thing possible, though. And it's a classic Andre Drummond moment for anyone who's followed his career for such a long time. But other than that, I mean, they're the Bulls.
Yeah, Andrew, for just to try to get the Bulls season kicked off right, let's try to get rid of some of the negativity here. I want you to try to say one nice thing about Jerry Reinsdorf, and you have to try to make it genuine, and you have to try not to laugh.
Nobody does mediocrity better. That's my.
No, it's got to be genuine. It's got to be genuine.
Not backhanded.
One thing. I just put him in hell.
You put me in hell.
Give him 10 minutes.
He did a great job of saving Michael Jordan's reputation by having him play baseball instead of negotiating him to play baseball instead of having the league hand down a gambling suspension for him. How about that?
All right.
I'll take
it. It probably never happened, so But that's
Okay,
about
well-
as genuine as I'm going to get.
All right, that's fair. I'll accept that for now.
How about that? We'll
Let's
go
try
for
to be a
that.
bit more positive going forward. It's a new season, new year, new me.
No, I disagree. I disagree. I
I'm
think
really
it's
excited
always.
for that.
I got to keep the same energy, I think.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Got to hold this. Got to hold these clowns accountable because I'm tired of watching bad basketball. How about that?
I'm tired of watching basketball. It's never been the same. It's never been the same since D Rose, man.
All right. Well, there is one little teeny piece of Cubs news that I wanted to bring up, and that is there are official reports out there that the Cubs are seeking an extension with Kyle Hendricks. I did not see any news on what they think the terms are going to look like, how long it is, how far along they are, just that they are, in fact, actively working on an extension. So I would love to see Kyle Hendricks back in a Cubs uniform next year as the 5th starter. I think that's a solid spot for him at this stage in his career. And we will keep you apprised if there are any other updates. There's your ACT word of the day. Get your week going and your brain juices flowing. That was good. I'm proud of that.
Bellinger isn't coming back. I feel like
Yeah.
Jeez.
that's your
Just
negativity.
immediately to the
Yeah.
negativity.
Really shoots it down. Yeah, we'll see. How
All
that,
right.
How that
So
works.
transition into the 180s, which we all had kind of busy weeks. So this might just
This might just be a shorter episode.
yeah.
I got something though.
I got something?
for everybody.
I'll let
Yeah.
you go. I had something and then I forgot about it. So I'm gonna think about it again while you're
Yeah.
talking.
So I know what y'all are thinking. Oh, the Blink-182 guy is just going to talk about the new album. No. All right. It is perfect. It's a 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 even. But no, I want to talk about this game called Vampire Survivors. I've been playing this game nonstop. When we started recording, I was in the middle of one and I just kept playing. Like I was just muted, just like come on. I love this game. It is a like retro computer game. You can buy it on Steam. I don't remember how expensive it is. It's not expensive at all. It looks like it's from like the Super Nintendo, and it's one of those games where you run your character around and all the weapons and everything is just automatic. So you just keep upgrading them and then you just have to survive. Fellas, I haven't been playing this game so much. I haven't seen my wife in days. I haven't seen the sun in days, like a vampire. Please help me. Help me survive. It's fun. It's addicting. I can't get enough of it. I still suck at it, which is kind of sad. Anyways, I want to talk about that. I was going to get on last week and talk about Notre Dame and USC, and then I got I had way too many beverages prior, so I was recovering from that. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That is my Super Bowl. I despise USC. I do remember the Bush push as a child. I hate USC. I just like I know Notre Dame is never going to win a championship probably in my lifetime unless they just like shell out all the money for the NIL. But that was a lot of fun to watch, and I wish that we beat Ohio State too, because I'm in an Army class right now, and there's a lot of Ohio State fans in there, and they have been giving me lots of crap for that. So if we could have pulled that off, I would have been unbearable. But hey, I'm excited. I'm happy we won. That's my Super Bowl in terms of college football. And now I just go back to watching them being like, yay, cool, go Notre Dame. So that's all I got.
All right. I did remember what I was going to say. It's kind of a two-parter, completely different things. First of all, Nick.
If you hold on, I'm going to stop you. If you go where I think you're going with this, I'm leaving the call.
All right, I'll say the other thing first. So fantasy football is a fickle mistress. I am in 3 leagues this year. I was in 2 last year, and it's been the same 2 leagues for a while now. I've got the league where I'm in it with all of you, and I got second place in our league 2 years ago, and then I'm in another league with a bunch of people I went to high school with, where I got second last year. And I kept as my keepers in our league Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who were going into the season the number 1 and number 8 overall wide receivers for fantasy in PPR leagues. So I'm like, I got this. We're good. Yeah, it's not going well. I am 1-5, and I don't think I have more than 2 wins in any of my leagues. despite the fact that I have fairly similar teams in all of my leagues. And it's just unfortunate. Apparently I can't draft running backs. I can't draft quarterbacks. The tight end position as a whole is just absolutely terrible this year. So as much as I love playing fantasy football for the trash talk, I have nothing to trash talk about this year. It's just all bad.
Yeah, quick interjection before you continue your second comment. I'm in one of the leagues, Jordan. I joined the one where he's playing with all his high school friends because they needed a guy. And it came to my attention at the beginning of the season that I've never finished top 3 in that league. I'm in 4 leagues this year. And that league, I've never finished top 3 because our friend Frankie was like, all right, Tig, it's your turn to get in there. And I'm like, oh, no. And yeah, I don't think I'm making top 3 this year either. It's kind of fantasy is like as we know, yes, you got those crazy like fantasy gamblers that are like, I have a deep dive research into every single player. I used to do that. I can't anymore. Like I send the $50 buy-in and pray that at the end of the year I make like $500 and then see what happens. After that, I don't care.
I can go down 2 paths. I can, do all my research. I could spend hours researching every player, listening to like preview podcasts and all that, and like trying to make as many like super informed decisions as I can and still finished 8 out of 12 teams. Or I let the quarterback auto draft it, look at my team once every week and still finish 8 out of 12 teams. That's just how it works.
Yeah. And like Tyke has alluded to, I did not wake up early enough today and started Roshan Johnson because he was in my lineup because earlier in this week they were thinking he was going to come back from a concussion. Left Deontay Foreman on the bench, who I'm pretty sure would have gotten me 24, 28 points. So, yeah.
Oh, speaking of that is one kind of talking point we can kind of go back to real quick. What do you guys think about Deontay if Roshan comes back and then Khalil comes back? How do you think the running back depth chart would look now? Because Deontay's kind of showing that he needs to stick around.
Or he gets traded for like a.
I was going to say I would hope they trade him, but
okay, fair enough. I don't know. Knowing how the Bears are,
they'll probably keep him. Yeah, but
yeah,
I would hope they would, strike while the iron's hot, so to speak, and get some value for him.
Deontay's 27, which is the equivalent of 63 in running back years.
Right.
So.
Yep. But it does show that there are a lot of Bears fans that wanted to cut Foreman going into the season. I was like, why? Like, you need a backup running back for exactly this scenario where all your backs get hurt. Like, why not you need money to spend anyway, just keep him. And lo and behold, he's really good when you give him, some carries. So, yeah, but if they can get some, a couple draft picks for him, probably just 1 draft pick, I'll take it. Why not?
I would agree. Because, again, Khalil and Roshan Roshan's awesome, and he's a rookie. Khalil's younger, so those are just the way the running back market is right now. Those are your guys going forward. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking that too. But, it was at least nice. It was refreshing to see a running game be effective. Yeah, even when they knew it was coming, like the Rangers knew it's like, well, it's Bagent, so they're gonna run the ball, and we still did well. And Tevin Jenkins is a monster as always.
Yep. Nick, Andrew, did you guys have 180s? Anything you want to add? Okay.
Nah.
It's been an interesting week for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say it. I'll be nice. We need Nick's beautiful Italian mug in the shot, so I'm not gonna say it. If any of you watched college football this weekend, you'll
Jordan
know what I'm
picked the team to be Italian.
That's all it took? All right, fine. I'm Wisconsin. There we go. I'll actually say it since he's gone. Wow. I didn't think
he was waiting to find a spot to do it.
On that note,
Nick loves the drama.
Yeah.
For those of you that are listening and not watching, Nick actually legitimately just signed off his computer and left because Wisconsin beat Illinois this weekend, and Nick still, I don't think, believes that I'm actually going to support Wisconsin from here on out, but I am. And so me, a 3-week fan of the team that beat his alma mater, he did not take very kindly to that. But anyway, without further ado, we will sign off for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Jordan DuPont, your host, joined by Andrew Freeman and Tyke Mullen. Nick got petty and left. You can check us out on Twitter at 4StarPodCHI. Our website is 4StarPodCHI.com. Nick is at Endicola21 on Twitter, even though you can't see it anymore. Tig is at TMMullen007, and Andrew is at AJFreeman25. You can check out Andrew's other work for the Bear Report on 247sports.com, where he does his tracking the trenches, keeping track of all the line play for the week, and the Picks for Polls podcast. If you liked this video, be sure to and audio podcast, if that's your thing. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, help us grow and flourish into the beautiful podcast that we are yet to become. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back ranting and raving next week. Have a good one.